Definition of biological sex can be a bit tricky, but it's usually done on the basis of chromosomes, anatomy, and/or the gonads. The chromosomal basis is defined by the structure of the 23rd chromosome pair, also called the sex chromosomes. Females typically have two X chromosomes, while males have X and Y. The Y contains the SRI gene that codes for the SRI protein, which is a transcription factor that usually leads to a hormonal cascade, resulting in male primary sex characteristics. The anatomical part is defined by the structure of the genitals. The gonadal part is defined by the presence of either testicles or ovaries. It is important to make a distinction between sex and gender, where gender is a purely social construct, and it is not necessarily the same as the sex. Disorders of sex development are defined by congenital conditions in which development of chromosomal, gonadal, or anatomical sex is atypical. Disorders like this can change the phenotypical expression of sex from the genotypical expression. These disorders often lead to an inability to reproduce, which makes them evolutionary unstable mechanisms. These disorders are also very rare and happens to less than 0.02% of the population. We will now present some of these disorders. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia is a group of disorders that is characterized by a deficiency of one of the enzymes needed to make specific hormones in the adrenal glands. The body often tries to compensate for this deficiency by overproducing other types of hormones. This often results in a lack of cortisol and an overproduction of androgens. A consequence of this might be an enlarged clitoris in females that looks like a penis. Another consequence might be an earlier onset of puberty. 5-alpha reductase deficiency is a condition that affects male sexual development. Individuals with this condition have normal male gonads, but are unable to convert testosterone to dihydrotestosterone. Because dihydrotestosterone is required for the normal masculinization of the external genitalia before birth, males with this disorder are often born with genitals that resemble vaginas or have ambiguous genitalia. Androgenic insensitive syndrome is a condition that affects males and that makes them insensitive to androgens. This affects the development of primary sexual characteristics before birth and secondary sexual characteristics in puberty. This disorder manifests itself mainly in two types: complete and partial. In the complete type, the testes are undescended and the individual looks almost completely female. Because of their complete insensitivity to androgen, they might even appear more feminine than most females. In partial type, the gonads might descend, The genitalia might be like a vagina, a penis, or it might be ambiguous. Our conclusion is that biological sex is normally binary, but there are some relatively rare conditions that can cause sex to be harder to classify, and that speaks for a spectrum understanding of sex.